Hey guys, so I'm gonna go over my Sunday here. I've got a guide trip in the morning, and I just want to review kind of what happened today. So I'm gonna pull up uh, Google, or Navionics. I'm sorry, Navionics. I'm gonna be doing this regularly throughout the season. So for anybody who's local, it's actually a really big deal. If I had someone to do this for me, um, I'd be pretty damn happy realizing that I'm out in the lake all the time, 24/7. So it's you still have to go out and put in the work and get confidence in the techniques, but it helps a lot. So the first thing I did today when I pulled out of course, Schumann's over here, as I headed towards the dam to fish the sorry, the flat back in here where they spawn. There's like a little flat and little flat pocket, and these corners, like where there's these deeper docks that extend out into the creek channel. I fished them like I had fish yesterday, and it was tough. So the first thing is that today was post front, and it was high pressure. I could feel the pressure, and it's like you just want to take a nap, like that real groggy kind of feeling. And I know that that's the same feeling the fish have, is just like ugh, but anyway, we started out. I actually had some friends over, and we started out fishing these dock ends. There was a tournament going on. There's someone fishing in the same area as well. It's like a really good area because they spawn so heavily back in here by the dam on the right hand side. But anyway, so we fished those dock ends. I think we started out throwing, had the girls throwing drop shots, and I was throwing a jig. My buddy Bruce was throwing a jig, and I was skipping it back there underneath the docks. I got like two or three bites, and it wasn't like that real, like that little quick hit, like a perch. I just think they weren't really aggressive on it, and so like we fished around, we got hung up a lot, and it was just really difficult to get the correct angles. I think that they would demand so much more precise casting and patience and fishing slow when it's post front conditions. And today was really difficult to do that with four people in the boat. It just really is. If I would have, because with the strike window being condensed post frontal, the fish aren't as loose. They're not as loose on the cover as they would be if it was, prefrontal or just a stable day. And I say stable day, obviously post frontal, it seemed pretty stable today, but it's just that high pressure. So, a couple bites there. I expected to get bites there. I mean, there's fish there right now. Obviously, that guy fishing that tournament knew something. He knew what I knew. Um, then we went way upriver because I felt bad. I wanted the girls to catch him. So I went up to my concrete wall spot, or seawall spot, which is like way up here, way around the corner. Boom, 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 boom. Way up here. It's actually, nope, it's more. That's the small island. Uh, yeah, over here. My concrete wall spot's over here where it's kind of deeper across from these docks. It's not, I keep saying concrete wall, it's not concrete wall, it's seawall. It's like metal seawall. And the current is moving so fast because we had rain last night. And so everything's like really rushing through there, and it was hard to keep the boat stable. And normally you can get away with throwing off the cover a good ways, and then you throw it way upstream and you let it drift downstream and just kind of keep semi slack line. But I try to keep it close to the seawall. The whole reason that this spot is good is because it has, this little channel comes close here, and it's the only area in this stretch where it really kind of comes close. across from these docks. But those seawalls kind of stick out into the middle. Like there's like three different walls. There's one small little area where there's a like I keep calling them walls. They're sea walls, but there's one little jet out. Then there's a second jet out that's bigger, and then there's a third little jet out, and there's three of them, and then there's a dock at the end of that run. But those they're just really good. Anytime they're generating current, it's really good in that area because it forces the bait down this bank, and the fish sit there and just murder them. I mean, this is a bloodbath, and it's the furthest sticking out things on this creek channel area. And so anyway, it's really good. But today it was just so intense current that number one is like we required a heavier weight, which we had the girls out there and everything. It was for us to switch up weights and make sure it was the right size and have them work it really slow and really cast it tight to cover so it didn't drift off, because it has to be really tight to the cover whenever it's super current, because it really locks them into those eddy spots. It's not like they're just going to roam. It's just not. So, normally you can get away with throwing a little bit off the cover, but not today. It was just too damn aggressive. So then, I think Hannah had one on, um, but she didn't know it till it was near the boat, and she couldn't get in the boat. So that's but that's good. It's a good sign. Um, what else? So then we went. God, what did we do? I feel like we went up here. Yeah. We went up here and fished the little channel swing up here. Um, I say that it gets like really deep in this corner over here, but before it over here is all concrete walls and stuff. And there's a few docks, and we fished those docks. There's like three different docks that are in front of this concrete wall, and it was once again really intense current. It was like really hard to fish today. It's hard to manage four people in a boat because everybody's crossing each other's lines, and the angles, like I said, are so important. With post frontal, the angles are just, it's everything, is to make the precise cast, to work it really slow, and just force feed them, basically. So we fished that area. Everybody's getting hung up. No one can make the right cast. I mean, same story. We fished the concrete wall, on this side. Normally get bit there. Wasn't getting bit there. Um, so I think, oh God, we got hung up. I got hung up, and then I threw the lure retriever down there and got the lure retriever hung. So that was a nightmare. But we were throwing the standard stuff. The girls were throwing the drop shots with about 8-inch leader, 8-inch leader, with the little Zoom finesse worm, green pumpkin, and on 3/16 ounce weight. If we would have went heavier, would have been better for the current situation, for all the current. But it's just they're gonna get hung up and stuff, and it was just hard to manage. It was so hard to manage. It was an interesting experience. So then we went back all the way up here to this little area here that I really like, where these docks are. And my buddy was up here, and I felt so bad because I like waked his boat. It was him and a friend, and I like waked them, and I'm like, "Hey, dude, what's up?" And they were fishing a tournament, of course, and felt so bad, but they were fishing a tournament on this spot. This is a good spot. This is one of my key areas right now. Is like this dock and these two docks, and these are right on this transitionary area. Right on this transitionary area here, really good area. But once again, it was tough. My buddy was throwing a jerk bait. That's the thing. He picked up a jerk bait and tried to throw it. Man, I just thought that was a bad idea. I mean, first of all, it was a pretty opaque looking color jerkbait, and the water's pretty clear, on Dunlap, pretty clear. But it was just like, you can't, unless you're a precision, and you get really surgical with that jerkbait and throw the key angles that you need to make, it's just tough. And then it's like, they weren't gonna go a long ways. I don't know. I still put the jerkbait in a moving bait category. I know it's a suspending bait and it catches suspended fish on days that are tough, but I still feel like even that being the case, it being a hard bait, it just looks fake. You need to have some wind or some cloud cover to break up the profile of that bait. You just do. And it was like calm. There was no wind. It was just hot. It was post front. I mean, it just was not right. We fished this dock up here, and I made the cast that I know always works up here on the front. Nothing. Of course, I made the cast up there and handed the rod to one of the girls, and they didn't work out. So, I guess the moral of the story here is just that it was really difficult. It would have been difficult by myself. If I would have went by myself, I could have caught five, but I wasn't. I had four people in the boat, so and it was moved. The lake was moving current heavily, and it was post front. I mean, it was just really freaking hard. We came back here and fished this little stretch of docks that I was talking about yesterday, and didn't get bit. But I mean, this is like textbook winter right here, winter pattern. And I talked to a guy yesterday. He said, "Oh well, I think they should be spawning or getting ready to spawn. It's the water temperature's right, but dude, it's not time yet for sure because I'm catching big fish doing what I'm doing. So all those people out there who think that they're pre-spawn on bed and stuff, it ain't okay. It ain't. You still got a good solid month, till it's really happening. So it's just not, and I'm looking for areas that are nearby spawning areas. This little dock stretch right here, like I said, this peninsula, they spawn on, they spawn over here on this bank. They spawn on all these tree roots and stuff. I mean, but I just find these areas that have contour breaks that look really good that are near spawning areas where I know they're going to spawn. They're going to spawn in this pocket back here. So I fished this dock right here. They're going to work their way back in there slowly. But I think the moral of the story today was I was throwing the right baits. I talked to the tournament guys out there and I said, "Oh, what'd you guys catch them on?" Just inquiring. And they said drop shots, which makes total sense. I've been throwing the drop shot finesse worm, catching them consistently, and the finesse jig. So, I was doing the right things. It's just, if it would have been just me, I could have really slowed down and been more precise. And people don't realize, how tedious and how little details make the difference. If I would have been up there in the front of the boat and made the right casts and had the right control on slack and had the right speed of retrieve and everything, I could have made it happen. I mean, they didn't leave where I'm fishing, so I know they were there. It's hard for inexperienced people when it gets really difficult like that to catch them. So, but I don't know. I mean, it's not like this lake gets a ton of pressure. It gets pressure, but it's not overwhelming. It's not like we live in Japan or something, for God's sakes. But I mean, it was the same thing. I'm doing the same things tomorrow for my guide trip. I'm doing the same thing, but the difference is tomorrow I'll have one person, which means that I'll be able to fish, and I could show him that there are fish in the area, even though he can't make the exact casts because I don't think his experience level is super high. I'll be able to put the bait where it needs to be to catch fish so that he can learn. Because the whole thing is learning. It's not me having him catch fish, although that's the goal always. But it's so that he can see exact decisions that I make, why I'm making those decisions, what time of day it is, what baits I'm picking, how I'm fishing it. I'm going to teach him tomorrow. That is my number one goal tomorrow, is to teach him. So, but that's my report for today. Hope that's helpful, and I look forward to doing a lot more of these videos. I think that it helps me immensely. It's going to help whoever lives in this area more than I could even fathom, because most people have to work all the time and can't take off and fish the amount of time that I can fish. So to have me as a resource, I know it's going to help some people. It's just, and I'm not really afraid of competing for my spots. I'm not too worried about it, but I want to help out. I'm going to help out. This is my social media year. This is my goal for this year, is to get more people going and to, just ramp things up. So, hey man, enjoy it.